Ohio Congressman and House Intelligence Committee ranking member Mike Turner. Congressman, it's great to see you this morning.
Good morning.
Thanks very much. And you've talked about the implications from the Afghanistan withdrawal, and it feels like it's playing out. Biden also is looking to ease oil sanctions on Venezuela, to try to get oil from Venezuela, from Saudi Arabia. What is your take on the fact that these leaders did not take his call yesterday?
Well, this is a president from day one who started a war on domestic oil production, natural gas. The Green New Deal that he embraced certainly is being felt as a policy message in Saudi Arabia and with our allies, coupled with the failures in Afghanistan, even the back and forth with what has happened with Poland, where the president has failed to see the urgency of President Zelensky's call for MiG fighters, Poland agreeing to provide them, and the back and forth with the administration seemingly unable to make a decision, certainly puts our allies in an area of caution where they're not certain what this administration will do.
You know, I recognize the moves that this administration has made on oil and fossil fuels have clearly sent prices higher. But as far as these leaders not taking the president's call, Congressman, doesn't it go even beyond that? I mean, let's face it. I heard that you can't even mention the words Abraham Accords when you're in the White House. He's failed to build on that historic deal, the Abraham Accords instituted under the Trump administration. And don't forget, just a month ago, we had strikes going into Abu Dhabi from the Houthis, who were supported by the Iranians. So you've got the Iranian-backed Houthis attacking the United Arab Emirates and the U.S. doing nothing about it. And now he wants favors from them. Is it also the fact that the U.S. is this close to getting into an Iran deal that is causing them to say, I'm not taking your call?
Exactly. And that's, I think, Maria, is certainly an important point. The fact that this administration seemingly is pursuing a deal with Iran at any cost, including a bad deal, certainly destabilizes the entire area. I think Saudi Arabia probably doesn't have a whole lot of confidence in this administration that both its security interest and its relationship with the United States is going to stay stable. Is this president fails to see any item on his to-do list as urgent, and also takes policies that are contra to our allies. I think for most allies, they probably can't really figure out what this administration's policies are, and so it's very difficult for them to determine even how to interact with them.
So what about helping Ukraine, then? The Pentagon apparently pumping the brakes on Poland's plan to make these MiG-29 combat jets available to the United States to then transfer them to Ukraine. The planes would be flown to the United States and then the air base in Germany. But the Pentagon says it raises concerns for NATO. So, Congressman, I know you sent a letter with fellow House Intel Republicans to National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan about this, and you write time is of the essence regarding this transfer and Ukraine's self-defense. How do you walk this balance of ensuring that these planes from NATO countries like Poland get to the destination needed in Ukraine without tipping off a NATO response and the Russians seeing that NATO countries are getting involved, where people would say would lead to World War III?
Yeah, so imagine if we didn't have a President Zelensky who, with such great inspiration and will to fight, has rallied his country. Around the world, people are saying that they want to support President Zelensky. We got to this spot because this administration was supportive of President Zelensky's request for MiG fighters, began negotiations with Poland and other countries as to how to get those weapons. We're already providing some other weapons. This is no different. This is just a weapon system. It comes in the form of a plane. But the president and his administration's mixed messages have placed us in this situation where President Zelensky believes that there's action being taken to deliver him planes, where Poland stepped forward to provide planes, and now the administration is going, well, not so fast. Maybe we're not even for this. Well, they should have figured that out before they got everybody on the world stage down this path. President Zelensky needs support. He says he needs planes. They won't do a no-fly zone. Certainly the planes are there. They should be getting him the planes.
But, I mean, Putin has been taunting this nuclear threat, Congressman. You pressed the U.S. intelligence chiefs on Russia's nuclear threat yesterday during the Intel Committee hearing. Let's take a watch.
Before we go to Director Burns, would it be correct to characterize that likely your assessment is that the threat is increasing?
That the threat is increasing generally, yes. I think that's fair.
Dr. Burns?
No, all I would add is I absolutely agree that the threat is increasing.
So what should we make of this, Congressman? What else did you learn at the hearing? And what should we think when we hear intelligence officials saying the threat of nuclear armament is increasing?
Well, this is one of those issues that goes right to the ascertainment, the assessment of who Vladimir Putin is and what he's capable of, and that this administration has completely miscalculated both what Vladimir Putin's capable of and what Ukraine would do. They should have been arming Ukraine a year ago, and then this would have gone completely differently. It could have been a deterrent from Putin. He's in now. Now, the nuclear threat is going to be there always. What we're trying to ensure that we don't have U.S. planes against Russian planes. But we have still been providing weapons, too late, I might add, to Zelensky so he can continue his inspirational fight against Russia for his own country. Supplying planes that are MiGs are really kind of like return to sender. They're Russian planes that would be provided to Ukraine. They would not be flown by American service members. So this is not an escalation. This is something President Zelensky has openly stated that he needs, and there's a number of countries that will step forward to provide them. We need to assist here.
I'll tell you, Zelensky is really an inspiration. That speech channeling Winston Churchill yesterday was incredible. I know he did the same on the call with U.S. lawmakers last weekend, rather. Congressman, it's good to see you always. Thanks for your leadership. We'll catch up soon. Congressman Mike Turner.